Hey everybody, back again with another video. 2 in a row. This one's going to be a response video to a question I was asked the other day by a new subscriber, in which he asked me, is there any other death metal albums that I like other than the classic 90 death metal albums or the most modern bands and albums? And of course there is. So I decided to compile a list of my 10 favorites. And a lot of these are classic bands. These albums are more towards the middle of their catalog or at the end of it. There is one exception. There is a modern death metal album in this that was released 7 years ago, but the band hasn't really released anything since. It has to be in this video because it's one of my all-time favorites. Another one's more of an EP, but it's just a banger from a classic band that I wanted to show because, man, it's a just fantastic death metal EP. But in the background, we're going to be listening to, I'm going to fast forward it to the next track. So, I love this album. Of course, everybody knows who Sinister is. This is their Aggressive Measures album. I want to say it was released in '98. I don't know if I'm right or not, but it doesn't matter. This album is awesome. I don't see this one shown near enough, and it is fantastic death metal. The only reason it's not in this list is because I wanted to show that EP, but this is my honorable mention. So, Sinister, Aggressive Measures. Of course, everybody knows probably if you've seen my videos before, one of my favorite death metal albums of all time is by this band, Diabolical Summoning. Just a huge fan of Sinister. And so yeah, my honorable mention at 11, Sinister, Aggressive Measures. Of course, I'll post links to all these if you haven't heard these albums. Of course, I think most people have. But here we go. So I'm not going to count these down or anything. I'm just going to show them how I love them. So here we are. Vader's Welcome to the Morbid Reich. I wanted to say Modern Reich. Fantastic death metal album from 2011. Been listening to this son of a gun. The day it came out, I was just floored by it. The intro, the orchestral intro just sets the mood to this thing. Then it goes into the Black Fire, and it just grabs you. Some of the riffage in this is a lot of the riffage in this is so freaking good. But there's one riff in particular that sounds a lot like something Morbid Angel did in Domination. I like how it fits this album. If you guys know what it is, just check it out. It's like on the very first track, you'll hear it. Like off the Domination album. But anyway, back to this record. Vader's Welcome to the Morbid Reich is an absolute banger. Can't say enough good things about this fantastic album. So, very much at number 10. And it's got this cool freaking variant. Black and red splatter or pinwheel on clear. So, next up, so another one I really don't understand the hate for it. I don't see it getting shown a lot either. Is Deicide, Scars of the Crucifix. Other than the classic trilogy, I guess the first 3, this is way up there with those to me. This is a fantastic album. I've loved it ever since the day I heard the first song, Scars of the Crucifix. I love the video to that. I love the vocals to this one. The drumming, the groove they have, the guitar tone and production. The solos have that neoclassical sound that I fucking absolutely love. But it's a really great album. Favorite tracks, of course, Scars of the Crucifix, When Heaven Burns, of course, From Darkness Come. You know, of course, Glenn Benton, he hates God apparently, but still just fantastic death metal album. So, and with that classic Deicide sound, love this one. So number 9, Deicide, Scars of the Crucifix. Next up is going to be For Whom the Gods Detest by Nile. A recent pickup. Heard Nile's catalog before, some of it, but just not a whole lot of it. This is actually the first album I've ever owned by them, and the only one I have, and I plan on picking up more, but I picked this up used and just was blown away by it, and it's been constantly played at my house ever since I heard it. But everybody knows about Nile. Egyptian themed death metal. I love their little sound bites they do. Technical, brutal, heavy, killer shit. Don't know what else to say about this fantastic album. So number 8 is my favorite Nile album. Killer stuff. Next one up is going to be Immolation, Close to a World Below. Fantastic album. Probably my second or third favorite to Dawn of Possession, their first album, which is the second death metal album I ever heard. So this is basically the second death metal album or band that I got into. Now I heard death metal before, Immolation of course, but I didn't really get into it, death metal, until 93. And anyway, that's a long story for another time. This album right here was released in 2000. The first day I heard it, I was blown away. Of course, you know, I was waiting for every Immolation album to come out, and this is one of the greatest. But anyway, check out songs like Higher Coward if you haven't heard this album, or Father, You're Not My Father. But I suggest for people that haven't really listened to Immolation, Immolation has their own sound. Really nobody emulates Immolation at all. They just sound, they're just unique. The best way to describe it. So my suggestion on picking, if you haven't heard of Immolation, maybe check out Close to a World Below. It's a little bit more accessible, but a fantastic title track. So yeah, this one, Immolation, Close to a World Below, and I believe that's 7. So 6 as another recent favorite, Cryptopsy, None So Vile. Man, I don't know what else to say about this album. I've shown it several times, but I was out. Basically, I'll just give you the story. When I first heard this album, I had it on a playlist on my phone. I was out mowing my grass, and this song, I think it was Slit Your Guts, came on, was the track that I first heard, and I was listening to it. I was like, holy shit, I love the fucking bass work in that. It was just brutal as hell. The vocals are fucking Doberman style vocals. He's just freaking barking those words out. And stopped my riding lawnmower, picked out this whole album, listened to it from start to finish, and immediately ordered this copy of it. Fantastic. My God, this is a brutal piece of work. And of course, you know, you can know what you're expecting when you see a painting they put on it. It's an old medieval painting, but that's John the Baptist's head on a platter. I think that's Mary Magdalene, but I'm not positive. But anyway, another one, Crown of Thorns. I love how he intros that. He goes, I do that rather well, don't you think? It just goes fucking nuts. Dead and Dripping. Just so many good. Orgasmic Disembowelment. Fantastic album. Definitely check this one out. Number 6, I believe, if I didn't fuck up my counting. Killer one. Cryptopsy, None So Vile. Next one I'm going to show gotta knock this one out. This is that more modern death metal album I was telling you about. They haven't released anything in 7 years. They need to get to work or something, because they left me hanging. Try to get this one out of there. Left me hanging. This album's so freaking good. I think it was released in 2015. Just a plethora of favorite tracks on this. I'm not going to go into every track on this one. Is a banger. This is Dead Congregation of the Fall. I just recently picked this one up. I've been listening to it for quite a while. I think Maze of Torment talked about this album, one of his favorite top 20 death metal albums, and he's right. This is another album that people will be talked about as a classic in the future. So definitely, if you have not heard this one, definitely go check this bitch out. If you like Incantation, you'll love this. And I believe this band's from Canada. I think this is Canadian death metal. But another great one. So at number 5, Dead Congregation of the Fall. At number 4, get this right. I got this out of order. This is that EP I was telling you about. Autopsy, Skull Grinder. I don't know what it is about this album. It just takes me back to, the first two. Just freaking killer. It sounds like they recorded this in their basement. Great EP. Favorite songs on this: Strung Up and Gutted, the title track Skull Grinder, Sanity Bleeds, Waiting for the Screams. Definitely, if you fell asleep on Autopsy, this is another one released in 2015. It's a killer. I think that all they did was release EPs for a while, which is cool. It's original. Killer artwork on this one. Of course, Chris Reichford. Looks like he's getting ready to spit a loogie off the balcony there. Or, actually, he's looking at this guy. What the fuck are you looking at? Classic album on Peaceville Records, of course. See, I think this is just on black. Autopsy rules, and all their albums are just freaking kill. I just saw something that I didn't see before. Oh, it's a Peaceville catalog. But anyway, so I think number 4, Autopsy, Skull Grinder EP. Fantastic album. Another one that I just recently picked up, of course. Dying Fetus. The wrong one to fuck with. Let me start this album over again. Oh, never mind, I won't. Dying Fetus, wrong one to fuck with. At number 3. Man, this one is a killer one. I picked it up because I never really owned a Dying Fetus album, and the record store just so happened to have this. When I was thumbing through, I saw that logo, and I was looking for death metal, and that logo is death metal. I guess it could be black metal, but this is some technical, brutal death metal. Just, man, I fucking listen to this thing over and over again. My problem with a lot of double LP albums, this one's at 45, is that you listen to it and it seems like you're right up to change it over or flip it over. So someday I'm gonna get this on CD. But other than that, I mean, it sounds great. Great freaking album here. I feel naked without the freaking background noise, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit play. But yeah, number 3 is Dying Fetus, Wrong One to Fuck With. Killer fucking album. Favorite songs is Panic Amongst the Herd. I love that one. Seething with Disdain, Weaken the Structure, Fallacy, and then the title track, Wrong One to Fuck With. Killer shit. Dying Fetus. At number 2 of my post 90s classics and pre-modern era is this one by Morbid Angel. Formulas Fatal to the Flesh, or 666, because F is the 6th number in the alphabet. Another one, 1998 when this came out. I don't think it left my tape deck or a CD player. Actually, I bought this on CD first. Never left my CD player. I listen to this so much. I love every song. Prayer of Hatred. My favorite song on this is Inoculation of the Continual one. I love the guitar solo. It's a more progressive piece. It's about 9 minutes. Nothing Is Not. Oh my God, fucking killer shit. Album's based on Sumerian. Of course, it's got the triangle with the infinity circle in the middle. Killer freaking artwork, of course. I love this artwork. Absolutely love this artwork. Of course, Trey Zachloff looks like he's getting swallowed up by the earth. Steve Tucker, one of my favorite death metal vocalists of all time. All of the stuff he did with Morbid Angel is just fantastic. But this is one of my favorites. I think Gateways of Annihilation is another one that's fucking awesome. But right now, this one would be my favorite. Man, so many good songs. Definitely check this one out if you don't know it. I'd be surprised if nobody knows this album. Killer one. Morbid Angel, Formula is Fatal to the Flesh at number 2. And number 1. Of course, my favorite death metal band of all time. I think this album was released in 2000 or 2002, somewhere around there. One I've listened to over and over and over and over again. When it first came out, I wasn't too keen on it. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but it's a killer album. I think this is the album before John McEntee took over for vocals. I want to say that's right. I could be wrong, but Mike Sayers is the vocalist on this gem. It's got a lot of a really muddy production. I think that's why a lot of people get turned off by this album, but that's Incantation. Their first album was muddy. Onward to Golgotha. It's muddy as fuck. This one is muddy, but that's what this album needs. It's dirty, murky, doomy, brutal, speedy death metal. It has everything you need. It has some black metal moments as well. One of the greatest. I love the artwork. A lot of people complain, bitch and moan about this artwork. I think this artwork fucking rules, in my opinion. But another one, of course, this is Hell's Headbangers recent reissue. I do have this on cassette now, and I do have my original CD. Cassette will have that artwork on the slipcase. But number 1 for me in my book of the modern stuff, that's Killer, and it's not really that modern. Very much they released this one 8 or 10 years after their debut, so killer album. Definitely worth, if you didn't like it the first time you listened to it, give this one a shot again, because this is a fucking classic. Fucking classic. But Incantation at number 1 with Blasphemy. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and to the commenter, I forgot your name. It was a bunch of numbers in one word, and I can't remember it. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. This is a great idea, buddy. Anyway, hopefully all you guys like this, and if you guys want to chime in and show me your favorites, or show this new subscriber your favorites, do it. In the background, Sinister, Aggressive Measures. Yes.